All right. So, with the goings on of the Warhammer 40k Henry Cavill thing going on, and me just like generally bumming around on the internet, I have seen random things on 40k, but I have just never been like I see like a picture of like a soldier, and I'm just like, it looks all right. It still looks like World of Warcraft graphics. Uh, in terms of like looks and design, it's like kind of blocky-ish and whatnot. They got the big shoulders and whatnot. So I didn't know that these were like, I think they were books first, and then it turned into the game. Or maybe it was the game first, and then the books came out. I don't know, but I this video popped up for me, and I just want to learn how a space marine is created, explained 40k. So let me just go through this.
Becoming an Astartes is an arduous and perilous process, beginning with strict criteria for potential recruits. Firstly, only males are eligible due to the specific compatibility of the gene seed and organ implants with male hormonal and genetic profiles.
Okay, so obviously a lot of this stuff is like AI. Somebody plugged in some shit for AI, so you got some cool ass images in the background. Not gonna lie, this stuff looks cool. Okay, it just is. There is like a degree of like cartooniness to like the big chunky, like round shoulders, like when I see the image of this, it's like functionally there is nothing helping this thing out, because like you think about it in like real world, and it's like there's nothing in real world that has like these like gigantic chunky like spheroid shoulders, and it's like just looking at it, it's like I'm like immersed in it because it's cool looking, but there's a piece of me that's like it's it's like kind of cartoony in just the how it's designed, but it's cool looking. Okay, so automatically I'm thinking this is like kind of like how Halo started, because Halo has like like the whole Halo program, or the like not Halo, but like the Spartan program kind of started like this. You know, everybody was plucked out like when they were kids, but this whole like this part with the genetic profiles, it seems like they started out with the same, taking the kids, and they have to undergo some surgery or whatever, and it's that on steroids. It's just a more hardcore version of the Spartan program, it seems like.
Attempting this procedure on females would result in their agonizing death.
So automatically, like I remember like reading like what was it, the first 3 Halo books, there were female Spartans. But if I look at like a space marine, like there are no like female space marines. There's what is it called? Like that one group of like the Sisters of Battle or something like that. I think that's what it's called. I'm not sure. And they got their own little group, and it's like this program doesn't even allow females because it's just that hardcore. So I'm just like, oh wow, this is like even more hardcore than that. That's pretty cool.
So don't try changing things, GW. Recruits must also be adolescents or very young adults, typically between the ages of 10 and 16, though sometimes it can work for those up to 20 years old.
Okay. So, 10 to 16, sometimes even up to 20, so somewhere between like the 10 to 20-ish, you know, you want to get them in the teenage years. Okay. The rebellious teenage years. Gotcha.
They haven't finished growing. This is crucial because the implants need to synchronize with the natural growth hormones present during adolescence to develop the unique physiology of a space marine. Additionally, there must be a genetic match between the recruit and the implants to avoid organ rejection or autoimmune responses.
Then, huh. that is actually like pretty cool because you have this like Spartan program for Halo, or you look at the Super Soldier program with like Captain America and like Marvel, and it's all like you're just more or less injecting like some super steroids into like the person, and they're just like they're tall, like they're gigantic, they got superhuman strength, they're fast, they're agile, they're very skillful. You got certain senses that are like, every Spartan's a little bit unique and like they're good at like certain things. Like one's got good hearing, one's got good sight, whatever. But this with the Space Marine seems to me that they took that and they just wanted to throw like more machine into a Space Marine than like some other like super soldier programs, which is really cool to me because it's cyberpunk before cyberpunk. So that is pretty cool.
Which could lead to death or madness. Finally, the recruits meant.
Oh, the death or madness? Cyberpunk had that shit. Oh, what was it called? From the anime. Like you have too many like modifications done and you just like start to go crazy. So bro, hopefully like in the future, like in like 1,000 years, that'll be a thing, but the whole madness thing will not be a thing. That's what I predict.
Mental state must be resilient and untainted by the corrupting influence of chaos as they
like resilient and uncorrupted by the resilience of chaos. I mean, bro, when you're a teenager, everything is chaos.
will undergo intense training and psychological conditioning. Due to these stringent requirements, only a tiny fraction of human males in the Imperium can potentially become Space Marine.
Okay, so immediately I'm thinking, okay, these are like Navy SEALs, like super Navy SEALs on steroids, which is also pretty cool.
Those who pass the initial test begin their transformation from neophytes into Scout Marines or full initiates, depending on the chapter's organization. The recruits then move to the chapter's Fortress Monastery, where they receive training in combat. And
okay, so every chapter moves on to like each like little group's a fortress. Like, is this like above some planet, or is this like just a really tall ass castle? I don't know. This is probably like AI generated, whatever. But this, bro, you know what this looks like? What was the Lich King's castle name? Oh, whatever. This looks like a cyberpunk version of like the Lich King's castle, with all these like, I don't know, cyberpunk spikes. I don't know what to call them. They're just cool ass. They're cool looking.
Learn the chapter's values and history. This period involves organ implantation, psychological conditioning.
So you got the organ implants, psychological conditioning. So you got better organs. You're gonna be more resilient mentally. Okay.
And physical training, each fraught with its own dangers. Only the truly exceptional survive these trials. After several years of rigorous preparation, the successful initiates undergo their first combat mission, known as...
Oh. So they didn't even do a combat mission yet. They're still like working with that wood, what is it called? The wood katana. They can't even wield the metal katana yet.
The Rites of Fire, marking their final transformation into full-fledged Space Marines and becoming battle brothers of their chapter. Gene seed is the term used by the Adeptus Astartes to refer to the specialized genetic material necessary for transforming a normal human adolescent male into a superhuman Space Marine.
Gene seed. What the hell is that? Is that like the super soldier serum?
This material encompasses various genetically engineered germ cells and viral machines that develop into the unique
germ cells and viral machines. Okay.
Organs implanted into the human body, originally created in the 30th millennium by the Emperor of Mankind and his scientists. The gene seed was developed in laboratories beneath the Himalayan mountains.
So It's literally the super soldier serum, the gene seed.
The genetic templates for the gene seed were based on the genomes of the 20 Primarchs, the Emperor.
Okay, then we got the 20 Primarchs. So I'm learning this slowly but surely. The Emperor's
genetically engineered sons.
The 20 Primarchs. So the Emperor had 20 sons? Holy shit, dude. 20 genetically engineered sons? Damn. That boy went hard, like, on CRISPR.
When people refer to gene seed, they often mean the genetic contents of the progenoid glands.
What the fuck is a progenoid gland? Is that like the balls? What?
These glands are harvested by a space marine apothecary to produce new space marines. There are 19 types of gene seed, each corresponding to one of the 19 specialized organs implanted.
19 specialized organs. Bro, what? How many organs like a regular like human have? Oh my god.
Into a recruit to transform him into a space marine. Many of
you just get extra organs. Don't they have like I've heard this, like I don't know if it's true. Don't they have like 4 hearts or 2 hearts or something? The Space Marine? And like in case like one heart goes down, like the other one just like is on.
These implants are neural, requiring the subject to be awake during the surgery.
You have to be awake for this shit. Like why?
As painkillers can't be used to dull the mind.
Oh, your mind cannot be dulled when undergoing surgery.
Some of the organs are grown outside the body and then implanted, while others are injected as gene seed and...
So, what is that, like stem cells? I would imagine... Okay, so I think this is more along the lines of like... Warhammer 40k stem cells. Or maybe I'm wrong, because like stem cells are used to like kind of like heal like joints and tendons and like muscle and stuff like that, and like they can even like create like whatever the stem cell like gets injected onto or whatever, like the cells just adapt to that type of cell and just become that type of cell. I think that's like the general TLDR of stem cells. So you got some organs that are grown outside and then put in, and then you got the gene seed stuff that is, you know, they just get injected with that stuff. And what? That's so how do you just make an organ inside somebody with just gene seed?
Develop inside the recruit's body using his physiological processes.
Oh, okay. So that's where like the temporary suspension of disbelief comes in. Your body just does the thing and it goes. I mean, I'm fine with that. You know, everything doesn't have to be perfectly explained, like logically or whatever. And something like that, it's like, it's fine.
All Space Marine chapters use these gene seed organs to control the metabolic changes that transform a regular human into a Space Marine. The gene seed is encoded with the genetic information needed to transform ordinary human cells into the specialized organs of a Space Marine.
Okay.
It contains viral machines that rebuild the human body according...
Viral machines to rebuild the human body? So not only do they have extra organs, if something, what? So can they like just like have, do they have like the Wolverine heal factor thing going on? Like if something gets chopped off, they can just grow it back like a lizard or something?
According to the biological template created by the Emperor, there has never been a single standardized method for activating the gene seeds.
It's gene seeds transformation. Like, bro, all this like AI shit going on in the background, this is helping Warhammer 40k so much for me. Like, when I see this shit in the background and it's like, bro, we could get this in the movies or like a video game. Well, you know, we will be getting a video game like this. Well, by the time this gets released, it'll be out. Like the Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Bro, if this could literally be a movie, I think this would be like so cool.
Transformative functions. Each chapter of Space Marines has developed its own unique methods and rituals for creating new Space Marines. During the first founding in the 30th millennium, various methods were...
Okay, so making a Space Marine is kind of... There's like a general template, but then each chapter will be able to do a little freestyling in there, it seems. Okay.
experimented with, resulting in different practices among the Space Marine legions. For example, the Space Wolves use a ritual called blooding, the Imperial Fists have the Hand of Faith, the White Scars perform the rites of the Risen Moon, and the Blood Angels use the ritual of insanguination. Since the first founding, the Adeptus Astartes chapters have lost the ability to create new gene seed or
so the one group lost the ability to make the gene seed. Well, just go hit up another group.
develop Astartes organs from scratch. It's like how we can't go back to the moon as we've lost the tech. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
They often lack enough stable genetic material to produce all 19 implants due to the loss or mutation of some gene seed.
Oh.
Despite these challenges, the purist chapters, like the Grey Knights, Ultra...
Oh, so there's like a purity thing going on. It's like, okay, so these are like the most pure Space Marines, and these Space Marines aren't as pure. Okay.
Marines and Dark Angels have maintained a sufficient supply of stable gene seed. This allows them to develop all 19 Astartes organ implants, which is why the...
Okay, so it seems like these like 19 organs are kind of like the keys of like what makes a Space Marine a Space Marine. And like one chapter lost the ability to like create gene seed, and now they're like all shit out of luck. So I think that's like the gist of it.
Ultramarines and Dark Angels have the most successor chapters. All chapters, regardless of their gene seed purity, have the genetic material to produce the black carapace and progenoid glands.
But what the hell is the black carapace and the progenoid gland? What? I still have no idea what a progenoid gland is, other than that it's one of the 19 organs used to make a Space Marine.
The black carapace is essential for a Space Marine to interface with his power armor.
Oh,
And the
oh, that's the organ that they need to interface with the armor. Okay.
progenoid glands are crucial for producing new Space Marines.
The progenoid gland. What is this, a chicken wing? So what is that, like a second set of balls? It's like the Space Marine balls.
The process of implanting gene seed or organs has evolved into a near religious ritual over the centuries.
Okay.
Sometimes, Space Marines require additional surgeries after the initial implantations to correct imbalances caused by poor surgery or their body's metabolic adjustment to the changes induced by the implants. Once all...
Bro, this shit looks so cool. Like having like just jack dudes just lying on like a surgery table, like getting like implants and shit. Bro, you could make an entire movie on just like the process to make a Space Marine, and I think it would slap.
all implants and corrections are made,
You know how you would do it? Remember when like the first, not the, what was it, Godzilla 20, I want to say 19? You'd have to do it with like how Godzilla like 2019 did it, in that you like build up the Space Marine combat to be like the very end, like the climax of the movie, but up until that point you gotta like latch on to like some Space Marine, make him the main character, and just like have him go through like the rigmarole of like going up until that point, and then you just have like the combat shit at like the very end. But also, this is like another thing. I don't want, if they were, I don't know if they are still making this movie with like Henry Cavill or whatever, maybe pulled out, I don't know. If a movie like this were to get made, I don't want it to be like a chintzy like 2-hour movie. There's no way you can do this like universe like any justice in 2 hours. No shot. Honestly, I would want this thing to be like a 4-hour movie. I don't want a TV show about it. I want a 4-hour movie. That's what I want, because I think some of these movies that had like real success with this type of movie, what was it? I think it was Zack Snyder's Justice League, or like the director cut one or whatever, where it was like what, like 4 or 5 hours or something, and then there was like intermissions built into the movie, like chapter 1, chapter 2, and so on and so forth. And I think what was it? I think, I haven't watched it yet, but like the Rebel Moon Star Wars thing on Netflix, even though I think it got like mid reviews or something, but then the director's cut came out, and I'm talking to my buddy, and he's like, "Oh, the director's cut one was like way better. There's way more context and shit." I think the 4-hour, like the 4+ hour movie experience is gonna be like the future of movies. Like, don't give me the 1-hour episodes. I don't want that, because when you tell me like if you give me like a 1-hour episodic type of show, it implies that there's like some sort of like filler shit going on in there, and it's like, I don't want filler. I just want the story. Because bro, like latching onto like a singular character and watching that character go through like the story, I think is way cooler than like the 1-hour episode bullshit of, oh, you get 8 episodes and each episode is an hour long, but there could be like at least half the episode that could be just like filler. It could be like baked, like caked in with like some side character shit that like nobody cares about, and the only thing that people want to see is like the main character and what they're doing. Yeah, that's what I want to see. If Warhammer 40K were to come out with a movie, make it a 4-hour movie, period. But yeah.
It is time for even more training. So thanks for watching, and remember to drop a comment and like. Do it for humanity, do it for your brothers, and above all, do it for the Emperor.
And above all, and that's like another thing, like all the Space Marines, they're all like, what he touched on, like the religious aspect of it. Everything is like to the Emperor and so on, which is like, this is so cool, dude. Like, if this was like how religion was like peddled today, it would be way more popular. Like, this is my holy gun. I don't know what the fuck this is, but this is my holy armor, my holy gun, like imbued to me by the Emperor or whatever. This is badass. But no, Hammer Ward, thank you for making this little explanation video. Like, stuff like this is cool. Even though I think I read like a post somewhere, like I don't know, a couple months ago, from apparently like an avid Warhammer person, and they've read like all the books and played the games, and they know the lore like pretty like well. This person was saying that, like, as interesting as the Warhammer 40K universe is, there are always like redactions and backpedaling that happens with the creators. They're always going back and being like, oh no, we don't want this, this wasn't like this, so we're just like, there's always like changes happening. It's like, okay, this used to be like this, or this is how this is, and now we're just gonna go back and change it. And when something like that happens within a universe, that makes me not really give a shit about the universe. Like, imagine if Lord of the Rings did that. I mean, to some degree, it kind of did with like interpretations and like translations and shit between languages, but not really. It's like a different thing, kind of, with Lord of the Rings. But like, imagine if Lord of the Rings, you know, with the original 3, not like, I'm not talking about the Hobbit. Imagine if the Lord of the Rings was constantly like the creator, you know, Tolkien. Imagine if he was like going back and making changes, being like, oh, this is like the main story, but you know, I'm gonna go back and like change it, and this I'm gonna change that, I'm gonna change this, and it's like, all of a sudden, it's like, why am I even bothered to like give a shit about this universe if the creator is just gonna come out and keep doing like I don't know, redactions and changing shit. It's like, why? It's a fantasy universe anyway, and you're gonna change it just because for the sake of like shit to make more sense. It's like, well, I don't know. That's just how my mind works. Like if a universe comes out and then all of a sudden the main creator wants to go back and like make changes to it, it's like, well, why? What are you doing? Like, yeah, it's your work and you can do with it whatever you want, but like when you do that, it removes the immersion factor for me. And apparently the Warhammer 40K universe has had like a lot of I don't know, redactions in it. So I don't know. I'm like kind of torn between like whether or not I should like give a shit about this universe, because like the core concepts seem pretty cool, and whenever you plug this like shit into like AI and you get like cool ass images like this, it just seems like way cooler. And it's like, damn. But then it's like, okay, when you get into like the nitty gritty of it, it's like, oh well, this got changed, that got changed. It's like, okay. But overall, this is actually really cool. Learn like a little bit more about a whole Space Marine thing and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, hopefully like a good movie comes out for Warhammer 40K, because I'd be like more willing to watch it if it like looked as half as good as this. But I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, thanks for making the video, dude, for sure. I want to see more, but other than that, I'm good ass video. That's it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.